Hey, church. It's been a really interesting season for us as leaders, and no doubt for you. We've all realized that what's happening now is, I guess, the reality for the next couple of months. Nothing's going to change significantly in the immediate foreseeable future. And so we're kind of just finding a new rhythm. So one of the things that's been quite exciting is to see how we as a church have responded to some of the crisis at the moment. We have made a decision to continue feeding people for the next 2 months, but we are really looking at much more long-term and sustainable solutions. And I just want to encourage you as individuals and as families to think about how you can help others, not just as a once-off or a continued feeding kind of thing where you create dependency, but to really look and think about how we can develop sustainable models of ministry. I think often in the church, people are looking towards the church leadership, towards the church as a structure to solve some of the problems. And by God's grace, we're able to do that through renewed trust. But I think there's a great opportunity for us as families to take serious responsibility here and see what we can do as a family to create some sort of a sustainable solution. I really want to encourage you to see people not as projects, but as people, to listen to their stories, to value them as individuals, to listen to their needs and not assume you know what they need, and to really walk a journey alongside of them. One of the kind of primary things for us as a church is we want to be a church that is relational. We understand the body of Christ as a people, not a building and not an organization. And so we need to learn to value each other and to value others in the way that we value ourselves. And so I really want to encourage you in this season to walk a journey with someone who is in a tough place, and to listen to them, to listen to their stories, to listen to their needs. Perhaps practically, giving vouchers is a really helpful way to help people. If you are going to knock together food parcels, we have some guidelines on how to do that. Check our website just to help you put together a really nutritious food parcel. And just to not make assumptions that you know the situation that person is in or that you know what their particular needs are. This needs for us in the season to have discerning hearts and listening minds and attitudes. And so I really want to encourage you to do that. Also, finally, that you would just, as you do give to people, giving is a great gift, but it can be really painful. And people don't always respond as well as you hoped. So you may not get a great deal of thanks. You may see money that you gave or goods that you gave being traded or used in ways that you never intended. I guess we need to learn to give with gospel generosity and with that kind of unconditionality. God gave us Christ, and not everyone accepts Christ, but that's the pain, I guess, of giving generously and unconditionally. And so let's be like God, and let's do this well over this next season. Finally, in this pastor's note, I want to tell you a little bit about Alpha. We're going to be starting Alpha course in September, on the 13th of September. For those that don't know about Alpha, Alpha was started by a church in the UK called Holy Trinity Brompton. I've had the privilege of worshipping there several times over the last number of years. In fact, on my sabbatical last year, I spent a great deal of time with some of their leaders, just listened to what they were doing. A phenomenal job. And so Alpha has been running since about 1992. And it's a course that encourages people to ask the really difficult questions and to ask the basic questions that often the church assumes people know. For me, I came back to faith through Alpha. A previous church I was involved in was running it. My mum invited me. I knew most of the answers, but I loved the group work. I loved being together and asking questions and listening to other people ask their questions, and really encountered God and came back to faith through that. And so really I want to encourage you to plug into this if you're a person outside of faith. But there are countless people we know in our homes sometimes, but certainly in our extended friendship groups. And this is just a phenomenal opportunity. Grant and I reflect on this a lot. I think there's an anxiety in us about speaking to our friends because they're going to ask questions we don't know the answer to. And Alpha Course is just a phenomenal tool to help your friends ask their questions and find answers for them. And it's a phenomenal tool because your job is just to invite them to come join Alpha. So HTB over the last few months have moved Alpha entirely online. So the meetings are all happening over Zoom. They found better buy-in because people don't have to travel. They have found people more open than they were even in the groups. And it's just been a phenomenal tool to help people come to faith. What's been really interesting and quite exciting is that part of the Alpha course is a weekend where normally you would go away and just have a real deep sense of God's presence and God's power. And there was a cynicism in the team running Alpha in the UK about whether this in fact would work or not, but it's been just an amazing testimony as to what God has been doing. So Alpha has been running since '92. Millions of people around the world have done it in hundreds of different places. And we want to be part of that over this next season. And so we're going to be sharing with you over the next weeks. We're busy training up leaders. We'll keep encouraging you to invite your friends, but I really want to put that in front of you. And so here's a short promo video from Alpha. And I want you to really think and pray deeply into this. I'm going to be asking you over the next weeks to take a risk in inviting someone to come and ask the questions and hopefully in time find their own faith. So listen to the video and then we'll see you guys on Sunday. Bless you all.
Perfect. Yes.
We all have that person in our lives. That neighbor we pass by every day outside our homes. That coworker we see at the office 5 days a week. Or those friends we catch up with every once in a while. People we wish could know and experience the love of God. How do we share it? Where do we even start? Deep inside, we know that it'll cost us something to open up our lives and share our faith. It takes time, vulnerability, sacrifice, the risk of rejection. But this is our call, to open our lives and to share Christ with the people close to us. Because it's only through opening your life up that spaces for honest conversations are possible. Spaces where people can truly be themselves and explore the deepest parts of life with people they know and trust. That's why we're running Alpha. It's a course over several weeks where you can invite your friends to explore life's biggest questions over a meal. It's a chance for you to invite that person into an honest conversation about faith. Because when it's hard to find the moment, or the words, or the courage, you can simply invite. Alpha, who will you invite?